what we want to do? I know that's what KotC wants to do. You know what? I'm gonna start right now with Polishmen all by themselves. That's what we do. All right. Count Ebba. Events have proceeded exactly according to plan. The throne is ours. Now just remember our agreement. In all matters of state, you shall favor the East. The East is supreme. Very good. Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. Noble Patrician Xavius, a pleasure, your esteemed Highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. May the ninth god bless your reign, your holiness. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. Polishman II. The council are immediately filled with raised voices. Meanwhile, what do you think? Will they be a good little monarch and do as they're told? Too early to tell. We should have a backup plan just in case. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from Queen Zoya II, but you must still answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. Should I get changed into my waterproof robes? It may be for the best, Your Majesty. Shall we call the nobles in? I'm gonna monarch vote. Oh damn, we don't have, the treasury's too low. Alright, what shall we do? Can we do RP today? Maybe. What do you have in mind, Polishman? I will be setting up an RP playthrough of King of the Castle. It might be the next one. Do you know Thrifty Token? Yes, I do. I wanted to talk to him or Mr. KotC about how they do roleplay streams so that I can set up my own. Alright, oh, I ended the vote. My apologies. I usually count down. It is decided. The monarch will be thrown into the river. And so it begins. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank, soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown on top of your head. Is it your imagination or some of the nobles' stifling giggles? Your Majesty, the history books do not look kindly upon usurpers, unless of course they prove themselves worthy of the throne they have stolen. When you die, how do you hope the king will remember you? As the architect of a new golden age, a lofty goal indeed. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall trade as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. I do want to say, if there are any schemes that lower defiance, please do not choose them. I personally prefer the unique schemes. Tobias of the Toby Polsko family, a sanctioned former pirate, scribbles with a well-used ink and quill on a hardwood desk, muttering in frustration. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Monarch Fran. Something must be done. Alright. So, B or C, please. Toby and Xavius. Alright, maybe Toby and Xavius are not here. What a tragedy. Toby, Xavius, are you here? They do sell furniture. Should I, do you guys think I just let it be random? I think I let it be random. Conspiracy, lower treasury, okay. To advance their scheme, patricians must lower treasury. Zako of the Polish man lineage, eccentric southern firebrand, stands bathed in sunshine, ranting in a fury. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Alright, Polishman. What are you doing? Alright, hey. Raise stability. The grandees plan to hold the monarch hostage in their own palace. First, they must lull the spy master into false sense of security. And let's see, KotC. Zorn of the Ebba-Lak Dynasty, sinister reformed cultist, leans delicately on a podium, speaking in a melodious voice. Most excellent. Fran now sits on the throne, and the counts are in charge as they should be. But the other regions will already be scheming to depose them. Do we stay loyal to the new monarch, or cut our licenses and put me on the throne instead? Alright. KotC and Ebba, what are you doing? Are you going to be loyalist, or other? Alright, Ascension. Ebba, what would you like to do? Would you like to agree with KotC, or would you like to do something else? Alright, let's see, it's 50-50. Loyalist it is! That settles it then. Long live the monarch. May they bring glory and honor to the east. But we can always change our minds. Aid the monarch, which is raise trade. And you can defy if you'd like. Laws of the land. Golden choice, royal gamble. We take those. Alright, my distant cousin. I hate him. Your Highness, I have a matter of some delicacy to speak with you about. Hello, KotC. Good day, cousin. How's the old kingdom, eh? I always thought it looked like a lot of work, but I suppose you get a fancy hat. Lord Fitzball is your very, very distant cousin. About 50th in line to the throne. You haven't seen him in years. What's going on? Lord Fitzbert has been staying at my estate for the last year, Your Majesty, but lamentably, there have been some financial impacts. He's been borrowing money from me for months, saying he'll pay me back when his luck turns, but my coffers are bare. Yes, poor KotC couldn't even afford a little banquet to send me off. I'm sorry it's come to this, but I must petition the court for funds, Your Grace. Alright, let's see how much money KotC has. 100? Alright, that's fine. Oof. I don't know. Oof. Alright, I'll do A. I personally prefer A. Is my vote of choice. Polishman going B. Ebba going B. KotC going B. Okay. It seems like both patricians are not here. I'll be ending the vote, since it's a majority anyway. Lord Fitzbelt storms out in a noisy huff. Still, at least, the treasure is safe from your cousin's grasp. It's not safe from my grasp, though. Murder! My parent! Noble Patrician Xavius has been murdered, and I know who did it. It was Grandee Polishman by the 9th. Don't let him deny it. I won't deny that I killed the venerable Noble Patrician Xavius. But it was no murder. Xavius agreed to an honorable duel, which I won. By the 9th, it was no duel. It was a cold-blooded killing. What reason would my parent possibly have to duel you in the first place? The reason for any duel is between the challenger and the challengee, a private matter not fit for this council. Xavius was unarmed, that is true. Alright, we got the split. Alright. Alright, Toby, Katori, y'all got any votes? I'm gonna be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Polishman II killed my parent and admitted it right in this council chamber. What more do you need? I'll make this as swift as possible, Your Majesty. The sooner we get to the bottom of this, the better. Hello, Your Maj. Wait, you're not Queen Zoe II. They never told me someone new was taking over. That's just typical. Always leaving Gabby out of things, just because she's trolling folk. Who are you? What did you do with Zoe II? Your Majesty, get behind me. Oh, don't bother yourself. I was just leaving. Now that Zoe II is gone, no one wants me here anyway. She lumbers out of the room in a huff, pushing past the marshal on her way. I'm so sorry, I forgot to warn you about her. The old queen kept her around as a cook. Ninth only knows why. She seemed friendly enough, true, but it could have been much worse. What if an assassin got in, or a less friendly troll? There should have been guards at your door. The palace watch are incompetent fools as always. You need a real honor guard to keep you safe. I've made my decision. Oh, a little typo. I await your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. The Coastal Gladiators. How could you choose them? Uh-oh, there's a little bug going on. I'll make the arrangements at once. The gladiators arrive a few weeks. The men are bare-chested and the women underdressed, eager to show off their bodies as much as their weaponry. They gather behind your throne and begin oiling themselves up. Alright, everyone, auction, Polishman, I didn't say nothing. Patrician's trying to lower treasury, so you can't do that. Grandee's trying to raise stability, and Count's trying to raise trade, which they can't, because everyone's at 10, besides Grandee. So everyone do what you want. Alright, we starting off with the 1 on F, the 200 on C. I know that was Polishman right off the bat. Alright, that looks like the only 2. Alright, and then we got another 200, another 500. E and F, farming and stability down. Farming and stability down. The Spy Master's investigation. Your Majesty, I returned from my investigation of Noble Patrician Xavier's death. And what did you find? I found a heap of burnt parchment at the back of the hearths. Servants say Polishman II threw them in the fire right after Noble Patrician Xavier's death. They were totally illegible, but I made out one detail for that was all that were left. Polishman II's crest. It's clear that Grandee Polishman II wanted to cover up something. It's a motive for murder, without a doubt. Aha! These destroyed documents prove that Polishman II killed my parent in cold blood to cover up whatever horrid truth they might have contained. A murderer and a conspirator. Alright. I'm trying to go A. I want to find out more. Kill this clown. All right. Let's see. I'm ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why bother? You have enough evidence to convict Polishman II. Evidence that he tried to destroy it. If you let him go now, he could be in Taverlin by next week. The relationship between the patricians and the grandees continues to deteriorate. The Spy Master collects the burnt documents and heads to the south to continue her investigation. Interesting news from the east. Do all family reunions go this well? Is my cousin causing trouble again? You could say that. Lord Fitzbarrel has decided to tell everyone that you're unwilling to give someone of your own blood funds on which to survive. It's stirring up bad feelings against you. Better to nip this in the butt before it gets out of control. Whatever y'all want to do here. KotC, alright. That's what we're doing. It worked! You send a stern letter to Lord Fitzbarrel, chiding him for his behavior. You do not hear anything back yet. Perhaps he's changed his ways? Hell no. Your Majesty, it's important for you to find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference? Men, women, or do you not mind? Polishman, but is this... What? Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messages to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. It's easy enough decision. You'll marry into the counts as we agreed before you took the throne, right? Tax time. What if I just made everyone upset? I'll do that. I need money, I'm sorry. Your remorseful cousin. Oh, my dear cousin, whatever can I do? You can shut up. I must throw myself on your mercy once again. How shocking. Your Majesty, I'm hurt. I know I've been irresponsible in the past, but I'm beyond all that now. No, it's that I'm building a sanctuary for retired hunting dogs in the East, but I've run out of money. I hope there is some spare coin in the treasury. Those poor dogs are so in need. No, we're not paying. We're not paying. I'm sorry. These are both. I'm a monarch. Alright, looks like one person voted. I'm going to be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. We succeeded, obviously. Craftspeople from the East flocked to the sanctuary, providing labor and materials to build the most comfortable kennels possible for the hunting dog sanctuary. Soon it's famous throughout the entire kingdom. Lord Fitzbarrel has found his calling. I feel like if I'd given him the money, he would have just ran. Polishman, I've answered this question before. You gotta dig deep into the memory. Your spy master finds you away from the nobles. Clearly you wanted to speak in private. I returned from the south. Questioning Grandee Polishman II led me straight to a stash hidden inside his villa. I found more documents, but these ones are unburnt. They're written in code, but I believe they describe a conspiracy to steal vast swaths of eastern farmland with forged deeds. If my deciphering is accurate, which it is, then we must move delicately and risk civil war. This could explain why Noble Prince Xavius was killed. Likely they found about this conspiracy. You must bring this to the council. This is outrageous. I should have known you sniveling grandees were plotting something. So this is what my parents died for? To cover up a terrible conspiracy? By the 9th, the grandees will suffer for this. I take those gambles, but if y'all want to go B, that's fine. Alright, Xavius wanted B. Ebba wants A, Polishman wants C, so it looks like C unless someone else votes. Oh, Toby's back. Toby, what are you gonna vote? Alright, I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2. I'll let you vote one more time. 1, alright. Now, do I take the gamble or just hang him? I gamble. And we win. The Grandees are happy to turn Polishman II over to save their own skins. The murderous Grandee is swiftly put to the sword. My humblest thanks, Council. I'm glad justice could finally be done. And what about the conspiracy against us? Do we simply have to trust the Grandees not to act on it? Are you so foolish to think we are foolish enough to carry out an exposed conspiracy? Please, leave us to our grieving. Over the next few months, the Grandees' words proved truthful. Holding the Southerners' feet to the fire was a sound tactic after all. The king sucks. I'm sorry, Polishman. I've found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young woman from each of the kingdoms. Yes, I know. The Chancellor leads you to the Great Hall where they've arranged portraits. Alright. They whisk away the first portrait. This is Valinda, the eldest daughter of Eastern Ebba Dynasty. She's a good-looking one, eh? And not a bad word is said about her. Everyone likes her. See that beautiful fur coat she's wearing in the portrait? Wolf pelt. Hunted it herself. She did have to suppress a peasant revolt on the lands recently. I wonder why. An intriguing candidate. From the coast we have Clementine, the wealthy heiress to Lord Patrician Toby's estate. I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous and apparently she's got a silver tongue too. She's also an obsessive collector of rare books. She'll splash out thousands for the right edition. The common folk hate her for some reason, but who cares what they think? And finally, Vina, the eldest daughter of Polishman lineage. She's reputed to have an ego the size of the sun, but there's nothing wrong with little confidence, right? She's an obsessive gambler, a pastime frowned upon in the South. It's been the cause of some scandal. The most common criticism of her is that she sometimes skips church. Welcome, Archie. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What do you think? By picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions. I've made my decision. Yeah, Ophelia, it was nice. It was nice to get. There's a bunch of channel points now. RG, you're on the counts. I'm thinking... I was thinking either the South. Well, they're all pretty good. Count power. Yeah, no, true. My eyes are purpled. Oh my lord. I might go south because of the gambling. Because I like the gambling. Polishman, last time you said that, you betrayed me at the end. You started a rebellion the second you could. I shall choose Clementine of the Coast. Excellent, I'll make the arrangements. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The treasury's not empty. The monarch won't be tempted by our loan offers. Maybe we can arrange some kind of heist? Don't get ahead of yourself, noble patrician. This coup will be conducted entirely within the bounds of the law. We have our principles after all. A taxing issue. Your Majesty, help us. Count KotC of the East is bleeding us dry. What is he doing? Our taxes are 10 times higher than they've ever been. I can't afford to feed my cows. It's true, Your Majesty. Count KotC has been taxing his peasants at least twice as much as the next highest noble. It's been a hard year, Your Majesty. I have barely any gold in my vault. I'm doing what I can to stay afloat. Are you here, KotC? KotC, are you here? Type for me, KotC. I need to see it. Not here? Damn, then maybe I won't do this option since KotC's not here. If KotC was here, then I mean... KotC. not here. Don't let him go. How exquisite. I'm relieved you saw sense, Your Highness. But think of me cows, on your honors. Think of me cows. Over the next few months, Count KotC becomes rich once again by jacking up his taxes. The other counts follow his example gleefully. Soon enough, the farms of the east are destitute. The cattle are starving, and soon are the peasants. Only the counts are fat and wealthy. That's fine. That means I can tax them more. There is an ad break. I shall not wait. The Royal Navy has stopped a ship in the harbor at Thalasis, Your Majesty. It's a merchant vessel from Dana, and the crew have come down with some type of plague. The captain refuses to go home, saying his crew need food and medical attention before offloading any cargo. That ship is carrying fine silks and rare dyes worth thousands. I don't care what happens to the crew. We need to secure those goods. Let's call a vote. Alright, I'll start the vote. There is an ad break. I will wait. Vote B. Hmm, 50% chance. There is currently an ad break. I'm gonna wait one more minute. Anyone who has the ad blockers and can still hear me. But it seems like this is it. I'll wait. Go? Alright. Hydrate. Oh, hold on. I have to drink some water. Polishman hydrating 2 more times. Polishman hydrating 3 times. Polishman, you really don't want me to learn Polish, do you? That's 1 hydrate. That's 2 hydrate. That's 3 hydrate. That's 4 for the EBAs. Alright, so we're quarantining ship but taking the goods. Yeah, let's go! The dyes and silk are carried into port, much to Noble Patrician Xavius' satisfaction. Their crew are left to wait out their infection on their ship. Fortunately, no plague is reported in Thalasis, or anywhere else along the coast. 2 months later, the Navy boarded the quarantine ship and found nothing but corpses. That's fine. The royal wedding. Your wedding to Clementine is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike are traveling from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Clementine at your side. Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife? I do. And then pronounce you married in the eyes of the kingdom. After the wedding, of course, is a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Clementine, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech in which she flatters you outrageously. By the time you find yourself alone with Clementine, it's past midnight and you've never felt more tired. You danced so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? I agree with her. You endure a long conversation in which Clementine seems determined to flatter you relentlessly and agree with everything you say. By night's end, you still don't know who Clementine really is. Her personality is concealed beneath 100 layers of etiquette. You go to your separate bedchambers, still strangers. In the south, beneath the scorching sun, Grandy Polishman III strolls through his vineyard in the company of a few close friends. Our plans are going better than expected. The spy master thinks that all is well in the kingdom, and while the cat's away, the mice shall play. Please don't dishonor me by comparing me to a mouse. Speak plainly or not at all. I apologize, my friend. In plain terms, then, our next step is replace the palace watch with our own agent. Indeed, the honor guard are incorruptible, but the watch are another story. If the monarch can't pay them, they'll look for money elsewhere. Lower treasury. Oh, I clicked something. An opportunity, Your Holiness. A Kurth ship sunk last week, just off our coast. I request permission to salvage the wreckage. Kurth vessels are always full of valuable things. Wait. It might be off your coast, but it's in our waters by the 9th. In fact, it's closer to our city of Hythus than any of your cities. But you ceded those waters years ago in exchange for a chest of silver. You are having money problems, Your Majesty. Esteemed Council, don't let this liar fool you. I prefer A, everyone. I want a Polishman. You know, get your vote. There you go, Polishman. You know, you wanted something, I'm giving you something. Unless everyone votes against it. It'll pass, I have faith. I'm gonna end the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But it's in our waters. Move over. The council's word is final, isn't it? The operation goes ahead and yields a great bounty for the grandees. Spices from Antash, Celeste pearls, and a strange music box that sends everyone to sleep. There you go, Polishman. There's your money. Damn, these are all south ones, huh? Your Holiness, me peasants accuse me of hoarding wealth. Me, worse, at throwing down their tools and burning their belongings, saying they want to live an aesthetic life and that I should do the same. What nonsense. Quite so, Your Holiness. They don't want to be pinned down by worldly possessions, but burning them is quite an overreaction. The ringleader of this movement is a philosopher called Ortega. She calls herself a voice of the ninth god, and the peasants hang over her every word. They'll be at my door any moment. I prefer C. Actually, fuck it. We'll do this. I prefer B or C. Welcome, Gooberfish. You are on the Grandees. Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Alright, it's looking like B. I'll be in the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The city watch rushed to the next philosophical meeting. Some of the peasants try to fight, but Ortega tells them to stand down to prevent more violence. The grandees are very grateful indeed, though there are rumblings of discontent from the peasantry. Saint or sinner? All I'm saying is every grandee claims to have a saint in their ancestry. Your great-great-grandfather was probably a common dullard. Shut your mouth, you hedge-born puzzlewit. His name was Saint Unbird, and he defeated the werewolf of Archara by turning it into dust in an instant, according to my grandmother. If you're so sure, then how about a little wager? A bag of gold says your ancestor was no saint. You're on. What is all this? Noble Patrician Xavius II is spreading damnable lies about my great-great-grandfather. If you really think he was a saint, then dig him up. Saints are incorruptible. Even after death, they don't decay. Very well, I request the council's permission to exhume my ancestor and prove this fool wrong. Grant permission. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Permission granted. True, permission is granted. You're right, RG. You're right. It is always a dope time. Alright, I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God bless you, Your Majesty. Now where's my shovel? A few days later, a body is exhumed from its resting place in the southern necropolis. Grandy Gooberfish is horrified to discover nothing but a moldering skeleton. Ha, some saint. I think you owe me an apology. God above, I was so sure. Word quickly spreads of Grandy Gooberfish's humiliation, and faith in the church weakens as a result. It's not that bad. Deep in the backrooms of the royal palace, the Eastern Counts are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. On a wall is a corkboard filled with pins and crisscrossed by colored strings. The monarch didn't marry Valenda, but at least they married someone. Now they just need to get on with finding an heir. Indeed, the clock is ticking. The kingdom is stable, and the Grandism is suspiciously helpful in that regard. I'm convinced they're trying to make us focus on the patricians while they plot behind our back. Then we gotta keep our efforts up. Monarch Fran isn't going anywhere on our watch. Continue to aid me. We gotta get the Grandees trade up. Alright, everyone. No one can do anything in this auction, but I mean, let's see what y'all want to do. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying the stream and you haven't followed, please follow. I'd appreciate it. I stream every Tuesday and Friday. Alright, we got one on D. Lower military. We got one on F. Lower trade. Come on, RG. Lowering trade. Just joined and I'm humiliated. Sigh. I'm sorry, Gooberfish. I'm sorry. You'll make money soon enough. Fund B by 10, so a lower authority. D, so it's military and lower authority, I think. Welcome, Casual, welcome. You are on the Grandees. So we got lower military, lower authority. Occult Rise. Dreadful tidings, Your Highness. It is a disaster. Ortega's followers are in a frenzy. They stormed my manor and took it over. I barely escaped. They say Ortega's bringing the sick to there to be healed by her powers, if she doesn't burn the place down first. Alright, I think we go B, everyone. I think we go B. Alright, look what we got. We got the 2 votes on B, 1 on A, 4 on B. Alright, I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Patricians have passed out, it's true. The best Southern Watch charge into the overrun estate and rout the peasants. They're easy pickings, and Ortega to soon surrender. She will be brought to the capital with all haste. Best of all, the soldiers salvage the stolen treasures, hang them triumphantly back to Grandee Polishman III. Let's go, Polishman. Your Majesty, I have something to confess. A terrible mistake. I was desperate to prove that my ancestor Saint Umber was a saint after all, so I sought out a witch who lived in a giant snail shell in the desert. I paid her to summon my ancestor's spirit back into his old bones so I could ask him questions about his sainthood, but the ritual went wrong. My ancestor rose as a living skeleton. He killed the witch and ran off into the night. You fool. Dark magic? Necromancy? I should have you burned at the stake for this abomination. Oh my fucking god, that's so many. Faith down, defiance down, faith down, trade down, military down, stability down, up, up, down, down, down. Alright, I'm like, we'll whatever you want to do for this one. Alright, we got the 3 votes on C. Alright, I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Most generous, Your Highness. Better than I deserve. Bah, this council will tolerate necromancy of all things? What kind of message does that send? Soon rumors spread of a dead saint in the desert. A wandering skeleton wearing nothing but rags who has attracted a rabble of mad followers. The dead saint preaches that the modern grandees have fallen from grace. After all, they brought him back with the necromancy. What more evidence does he need? His fanatical followers launched surprise raids on southern troops, flaming arrows in the night, throats cut in the barracks, supply lines disrupted, and trade caravans set alight. The skeleton saint, as he becomes known, will be a thorn in the grandee side for many years to come. Ooh, that's a good dynasty thing. 1 sec. All right, let's see what else is there. Ah, about my heir. Your marriage to Clementine is not what you'd hope. She seldom sleeps in your bed, and over breakfast you exchange only a few frosty words before she departs to the library. The last thing on your mind is procuring an heir, but the kingdom needs to prevail. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair, but something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. I plan to adopt a low-born child from the orphanage. Anyone's opinions on that? Skeleton Safe is kind of dope. The nobles won't be too happy with a low-born child being elevated to the status of royal. I urge you to reconsider. The normal way, my liege? Rip? My mind is made up. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Meanwhile, in the south, Grandee Polishman III has invited his close associates to his manor house for some wine, cheese, and treason. Some of our brides have been accepted, but not enough. The monarch is paying the palace watch well enough that their loyalties aren't easily swayed. So we have some watch in our pocket? Isn't that enough? No, not yet. We can't make a move until we're sure we won't be discovered. Alright, tax time. Keep everyone at 1. A sacrilegious request. Council demands clapping. I do demand clapping. Your esteemed highness, I am as devout as anyone, but it's beyond ridiculous that for 1 day of every week, all the shops are shut down and no work gets done. I know. It's the 9th god's holy day. The day he rested after slaughtering the other gods like cattle. But must it interrupt trade? I'm leaving profit on the table. And need I remind you that the coast is the economic powerhouse keeping the kingdom afloat? We should receive special dispensation. Reasonable enough request. It's most certainly not. Ah! I assure you, High Inquisitor, I have nothing but the utmost devotion to the 9th, but I need to think about my profits. I'll just veto this. Alright, everyone, what's everyone going to be voting? Alright, looks like we have 2 on A, 1 on B. I'm going to do a little countdown for the people who maybe want to still vote. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to burn, all of you. But the only thing that burns is all the money in your pocket. With merchants allowed to operate on holy days, profits increase throughout the kingdom and the treasury swells. Church attendance drops like a stone, of course, but no one really notices except the High Inquisitor, who plots her revenge. Soon, Inquisitors tour the realm, spreading rumors that you are mad with power, intent on replacing Church to the 9th with churches to yourself. Nonsense, of course. Unfortunately, the peasants see right through it. No one believes that you're in any position to take the ninth god's place. I think you should watch me. Shark attacks. Let's go. Upsetting news from the coast, your majesty. Several peasants have been killed by a shark. I've already sent your condolences. You can't close my beach. No one mentioned closing a beach. The beach is vital to coastal tourism. You can't close it just because a few people got on the wrong end of a fish. Well, now I want to close it. You can't. I'll take this all the way to the council. Alright, I think we turn it... Oof. Let's see. No, I do. I do think we turn it into a tourist attraction. Hydrate. A hydration done. Also, if anyone has any ideas for any channel point ideas, join the Discord server and slap them into the chat and let me know. Alright, we got a split vote, but Monarch on BD. Hey, Casual, do you stream every Tuesday? The past, I've only been streaming 3 weeks, but I think I've noticed you on every Tuesday. I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You in what, like, are you in the US? Are you in Europe? Hire an adventurer. Nah, we're turning this shit into a tourist attraction. We need that trade up. It's genius. We'll flip this on its head. The patricians immediately mounted an impressive public relations campaign. Come to Prosper Beach. See the world-famous man-eating shark. Thrill seekers welcome. More people are dying than ever, but at least they're all signed waivers. Everyone's happy, especially the sharks, which grow fat indeed. Eastern Coast? Jesus. I'm on the Eastern Coast too. I'm from Mass, if you couldn't tell. You stream pretty damn early then. Oh my god. Oh, I thought that. Oh my! I thought that was the troll for a second. I looked up and I was like, "Yes!" I was like, "My cook is back." Ortega arrives in your throne room, dressed in rags and flanked by the palace watch. She lifts her chin defiantly as she walks. Your Holiness, you wanted to see me, so you don't believe in owning things, eh? Getting rid of what's necessary is how you move closer to the ninth god. He has given me the ability to heal, so I must use it. How can you claim to have anything to do with the ninth god? She's a heretic, plain and simple. By the ninth, I'm no such thing. He's just afraid of whatever he doesn't understand. Oh my god, how much I just don't. Started doing it during COVID. It was something to do in the mornings. Oop. Anything unplugged? No? Okay. Whew. I started streaming to play this game because I had it and just never played it. Alright. That's most the nobles currently playing, so I'm just gonna end the vote there. I'll count down from 5. Maybe the patricians wake up, Toby and Xavius come from out of nowhere and vote C. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. It failed, obviously. I don't think I'm a suitable preacher for you, Your Holiness. We're not a good fit. Then you will be exiled. I'll leave if you order me, Your Holiness. I'm not interested in rebellion, but my followers won't like it. As soon as she's dragged away, Ortega holds her head high. You have her ship off to the lawless Isle of Saul, where she can't bother anyone in the kingdom again. An invitation. Without a word, Count RG hands you a blood-red envelope. It's sealed with white wax in the shape of a skull. Inside is a beautifully written invitation to an event called the Crimson Vigil, due to take place on an autumn night later in the year. I suppose I shall attend. I'll see you next vigil. Your August Majesty, I have the most wonderful solution to all the excess gold cluttering your treasury. We should put on a mock sea battle in the coastal arena. For too long, we put up with boring gladiator fights and the death. Oh, I just fucked up that sentence so bad. For too long, we put up with gladiator fightings Gladiators fighting to the death on dry land. Boring. How would that work? We waterproof the arena and fill it with seawater. Then we crew a few custom-built ships with our most expendable gladiators and have them duke it out before a screaming crowd. I think we do A. I think we do A. Let's hold this sea battle. I got the money. Vote A. Vote A. We got another vote A, so it's looking like it's gonna be A. Damn, both the patricians aren't here. That's really tragic. Alright, I'll be counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, excellent. I shall make the arrangements at once. Sorry, Xavius. If you had voted B, I still would have chosen A. A few weeks later, the mock sea battle is held in Thalasis. You watch from a royal box. Two ships battling each other, tossed on artificial waves. Gladiators swinging on ropes with cutlasses between their teeth. A naked spectator swimming across the arena and getting eaten by a shark. The show is everything you'd hope for and more. A few competitors drown, of course, but that's what they signed up for. The show attracts tourists from across the kingdom and inspires a wave of patriotic peasants to join the coastal navy. A grand success. Your Highness, that troublesome philosopher Tega is gone, but her followers are marching on our estates demanding justice. The same in the coast. They're making her into a martyr. That's exactly what they did. Alright, we got a split 2 and 2. I'm going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Casual got his vote in right at the end. Your issue a proclamation inviting Ortega's followers to enjoy bonus cash and comforts, no questions asked. It's not long before the followers realize that the worldly possessions are actually pretty useful, and Ortega's name fades into obscurity. In a dingy seaside tavern, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The treasury is practically empty, and the monarch is struggling to fund their ambitions. We're perfectly placed to offer them a loan. So helpful of us, indeed. These loan agreements will be as friendly as a bear trap, obviously loaded with hidden caches and a small print. Now watch me work my magic. Good evening, Lord Patrician. What exactly is the purpose of this meeting? I heard about the monarch's recent money troubles, and I thought we could both benefit. Sign here and here. This agreement does seem fair. Very well, I'll sign. The monarch will be pleased. Good night, Lord Patrician, and may the ninth bless you. Easy, see? Easy as pie. But it's not enough to bankroll the monarch. The rest of the kingdom must be in debt to us as well. To advance their scheme, they must have the highest trade in 3 seasons. The ninth god is with us, my friend. The palace watch are in our pocket. They took our money gladly. The kingdom can barely afford to pay them a living wage. Music to my ears. Soon the throne will be ours. Indeed it will, but we must plan our next steps. Alright, grandees, Polishman, Casual Holy, and Goober. Are you gonna A or B? Alright, looking like B. Over the next few months, we'll have troops infiltrate the capital disguised as beggars to swap places with the Palace Watch one by one. Once the monarch realizes they are surrounded by our troops, it'll be too late. They'll be helpless as a little fly caught in our web. Magnificent. But once we turn the monarch into our puppet, won't the counts and patricians notice? That's why we need a strong army to make them think twice about challenging us. United with the monarch's forces, will be unstoppable. Must raise their military to 8. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. The silence continues, accepting a few stifled coughs. Accepting a few stifled coughs. After the awkward pauses stretch out for over a minute, there's finally some sporadic applause. The nobles don't appreciate you inducting a low-born child into the royal family, but whether they like it or not, by designated heir, you cemented the stability of the kingdom. Your Holiness, may I be the first to congratulate you on adopting an heir. What is her name? Fran II. We are blessed, Your Highness. I'm sure little Fran II will be a chip off the old block. Where are we at with the schemes? Patricians are on the second to last, have highest trade. Grandees need to raise to 8 to win. I'll be starting undercutting. I want to speak to you today about a delicate matter, Your August Majesty. It concerns the perfume trade. Ah, yes, I'm very familiar with it. Then you will understand our position. You see, the Grandees have a long history of creating perfumes and scented oils for all purposes. Why I purchase some for myself fairly often. The counts are in a similar position to me, in fact, always attending those fancy balls of theirs, always having to look and smell just perfect. You wouldn't believe how much perfume they get through. Traditionally, we patricians have facilitated this trade, making sure that a fair deal is reached on both sides. Yet the counts and grandees buy from us. Yet now the counts buy from the grandees directly. They're cutting us out of the deal. You can't let them get away with it. Sounds like clever business to me. Your Serene Highness, please just call a council vote. Actually, I don't think I will. Bah, what a waste of time. You allow the regions to do business as they like. This means the patricians will lose a grip on their monopoly, of course, but that's no concern of yours. One moment. Alright, Your Majesty, I wish to speak with you about the situation in the East. The counts have long been a matter of suspicion for those of us in the church, but now idolatry and devil worship are commonplace across the whole region. Allow me to send some of my best missionaries to the East. It's for the good of the realm. I'll have to bring this to the council. Of course, Your Majesty, I would expect nothing less. We'll see what happens. So how's everyone doing in chat after your vote? Tell me. Good? Who voted A? But why not? It might work out. It might work out, RG. Alright, I'll be ending the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nah, there's nothing wrong with going gambling. There's nothing wrong with gambling, RG. This is a power play by the church, plain and simple. We won't forget this. The mission goes ahead despite protests from the counts. The results are less than promising. After being run out of more than a dozen towns in the east, the missionaries head back to the capital with a tail between their legs. Still, the Archbishop hopes that their preaching might lay the groundwork for future attempts. The counts are gathered in an empty council hall late at night. A new report from one of their spies has just come in. Drakov's bones, the grandees are planning to threaten the monarch into putting in their place. They've wormed their way into the palace under our very noses. It's too late to stop them. We have to be extra vigilant. I wouldn't be surprised if the grandees have the palace watch in their pocket. We just have to delay them long enough for Monarch Fran to solidify their power. It shouldn't be long now. Our monarch is on the verge of greatness. I can feel it. Welcome, Luca. Welcome. Luca, you are on the patricians. Your goal is to have the highest trade. Equaling the counts with 10 is fine too. That also ticks it. I've just hydrated King Israel. Luca, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. King Israel, I didn't see you join. Big Nut, I didn't see you join as well. Oh my god. I looked away for a second. Luca, Big Nut, you're on patricians, and King Israel, you're on the grandees. Welcome everyone, welcome. I'm starting the auction. Well, patricians have to get their trade up, grandees have to get their military up, and the counts just want trade up for grandees as well. Alright, I'll be starting the auction now. Welcome, Big Nut. I'm happy to have you. I immediately just knew that was Polishman dumping all of his money into C. So C's getting funded. E's getting funded as well. That's what I expected. Everyone, if you're enjoying the stream and you haven't followed, please follow. I would appreciate it. I stream every Tuesdays and Fridays. I am poor now. Luca, you know, sometimes, I mean, Polishman really just be throwing all his money in, but when Polishman ain't here, people usually vote funding 1 or 2. Yes, you'll get it. You'll get to tier 3. Big Nut. Yeah, you're on. Yep, you're on grandees, not grandees. Patricians. All right, time's up. Military up, trade up. Your ambition. At the start of your reign, you said you want to be the architect of a new golden age. You've succeeded on that front. The kingdom has never been more prosperous. Well done, your majesty. But to shut down the noble scheming for good, we need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. Have you heard of the Scepter of the Sages? It is an ancient lost artifact forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There is legend that any monarch who recovers it will rule over a golden age. My advice, on the other hand, would be to infiltrate each region with loyal spies, defeat their schemes with schemes of our own, but the Chancellor has other ideas. Oh my god, can't do faith and trade. I guess I'll have to do the spy network. A wise decision, your majesty. I'll begin recruiting spies. We'll send them across the kingdom in the guise of traveling bards. This will require a fine touch. Stability and trade. I do want to raise Count's military, if we can all work together on that, so that way maybe we can start a war next session. Oh, an invitation to the coast thing. Your majesty, you must absolutely come down to the coast next year and experience the summer games for yourself. It is the only social event that matters. If you aren't in attendance, well, it would simply be a crime. How could I say no? I might do war next session, like next playthrough, if we get like at least 5. Oh, this is simply wonderful. It's been a long time since a monarch attended the games. Last time, as I recall, they were assassinated. Not to worry, your majesty. I'm sure that won't happen to you. Alright, the Crimson Vigil. The Crimson Vigil takes place in a bleak castle atop an eastern hill. Your journey takes weeks and your baggage train keeps getting stuck in the bogs. Guests at the Crimson Vigil compete in who can dress in the most ghoulish and frightening costume. What do you dress as? A demon with horns, cloven. I'm gonna do this one. The red dye makes your skin itch, and your hoof-like shoes are difficult to move around in, but you strike a startling figure. As you're assessing your appearance, Count RG sweeps in dressed as a living corpse. Welcome, welcome. I see you're dressed as the servant of the 7th god. How delightfully blasphemous. Of course, as the Easter yourself, you already know that the dungeons are out of bounds. In the ballroom, you'll find the counts gathered, all dressed up as frightening monsters. Wolfmen, pumpkinhead witches. A waiter glides past holding a tray of footlongs. A pianist plays a mournful tune. The Crimson Vigil will begin at midnight. What role will you take? A mourner, or are you willing to betray a hound of the betrayer? I will play a hound. The counts gather. After RG delivers a short speech about remembering the old ways, a flaming crown is placed atop his head. I will be the monarch in exile this evening. The hounds of the betrayal will try to catch up to me, but fear not. I am as swift as a falling star and as old as the hills. Chase after the monarch. RG runs down the corridor, flames licking behind him, and you give chase. A dozen other hounds of the betrayer run alongside you, howling and yipping enthusiastically. Somehow, despite the silly costumes and massively flaming hat, RG is quick on his feet. Catching him won't be easy. Chase after him. Despite your stupid cloven shoes slowing you down, you grab a hold of RG and drag him back to the circle of mourners. The ceremony concludes with a mock execution, and a bottle of very expensive red wine is spilled over RG's head. The monarch in exile is captured as a bad omen, of course, but as a hound, you are duty-bound to try your best. After that, the music is more cheerful. The counts dance and chat long into the night. At dawn, you board your carriage and begin a long journey back to the capital. Next session, you just go to war with all 3 countries thing. Yeah, I will try to do that. We just need to get military up because we really need to be able to smack the shit out of people. You just need to get taxed. That's it, right? No, I won't do that. Do I do that? No, I won't do that. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I'm not hurting for money. Before we do the ambition, we'll do these. Your Majesty, do you recall the loan agreement I signed with the patricians? No. Your Majesty, I sent you the contract. You stamped it with the royal seal. You should have asked me face to face. I understand. My sincere apology. It turns out there were some hidden catches. See? The interest they were charging looked very reasonable at first, but it's doubling every 2 weeks. Before long, things will get exponential. That can't be legal. I poured through every logbook. It's perfectly legal. Luckily, the patricians aren't pressing us for repayment yet, but there are signs they're tricking the other regions into similar agreements. They're prosperous and cunning enough to pull it off. We need to call a council vote and stop the patricians before it's too late. Alright, it's looking like we all got the votes on A. I'll be ending the vote because that's majority. You call an embargo on goods from the coast, angering the patricians and crippling their economy. But it's bad news for the rest of the kingdom too, and a lot of people really rely on those goods. This is an outrage. We have nothing outside the bounds of the law. Besides, you need us. You can't keep this up forever. He's right. After a few weeks, inundated with complaints from merchants, you're forced to lift the embargo. But the coastal economy has taken a blow. Your Grace, I need help with my peasants. The East is prosperous and living conditions are improving, but they still want more. They've gone on strike demanding better pay and fewer hours. Many have thrown down their tools and started squatting on my property. You should deliberate with the council. Thank you, Your Highness. I'll give them what they want. I prefer D everyone. It didn't allow you to say kurva for some reason, Toby, but I allowed it. Don't you worry. I'm not like that. Apparently you can say shit but not kurva. That's fine. You know, Twitch. Give them what they want. All right. Well, that's split, so D has majority. Bah, this is outrageous. Next, you'll be asking them to vote or something. Sweeping reforms are soon enacted. Despite Count RG's protests, the commoners' lives are improved, leading to happier workforce and greater profits. All right, time to win the game. All goes according to plan, Your Majesty. Let me show you. Your spy master takes you through a secret passage in your own private office. You emerge into a hidden chamber where a number of hidden figures are waiting. These are my agents. They can blend into a crowd as effortlessly as they can slip a knife between a traitor's ribs. Why didn't I know about this chamber? Don't worry about it. The palace is riddled with secret passages and hidden rooms. I'll keep track of them for you. Soon our spies will infiltrate the courts of all the nobles on your council, disguised as traveling bards. One of your spies tosses aside her cloak, revealing a lute and the colorful costume of a troubadour. With charm and flattery, they'll worm their way into your nobles' hearts and minds. Then we'll have a spy network, the likes of which the world has never seen. I hope to make even the Gaunt of Tavaline look like rank amateurs. This should put a stop to their foolish schemes, and it will keep the kingdom stable for the rest of your reign. A little blackmail is a small price to pay. A few weeks pass before you hear more news. Your spy master arrives in your office with a tiny scroll, small as a cherry stem, clutched between 2 fingers. This is a message from one of our agents in the field, Your Majesty. I sent her a noble patrician Big Nuts villa disguised as a troubadour with a fiddle at the ready. Open it, of course. The spy master studies the scroll for a moment and a smile creeps across her face. She holds it over a candle flame and it vanishes into a puff of cinder. She's been welcomed to noble patrician Big Nuts court with open arms and is already flattering them with fawning songs. Polishman, I'm gonna need a translate for that, please. Can you do that for me, please? I'd appreciate it. Let's hope our other spies are just as successful. Over the next few weeks, you'll receive a backword from more and more of your agents. Almost all of them successfully wormed their way into the noble's court. Now we must hope they can maintain their cover. A few more weeks pass, you anxiously wait for news of your spy's progress. One day, your spy master appears at your desk, her face lit by a triumphant smirk. Toby, there's a Polish chat in my Discord, by the way. Good news, Your Majesty. Our spies have uncovered some of your noble's darkest secrets. Did you know noble patrician Big Nut has an irrational fear of lemons? You do now. We even have a few illicit romances between the nobles and our generically attractive bards. The blackmail writes itself. This has gone better than I expected. You do enjoy the services of an excellent spy master, but we can't get complacent. We must see if our other spies are equally successful. Over the next few weeks, your spies send back more and more positive reports. Soon you've established a spy network throughout the entire kingdom. It's with a sense of smugness that you call your next council session. As the nobles file in, you realize you know all their secrets, their weaknesses, everything. Listen, Your Majesty, I was thinking that the taxes have been awfully high lately. Why don't we hold a vote on reducing them? No. I must have misheard you. Let's call a vote. Let's go. Chop chop. Grandee, can you come here for a moment? I need a word with you in private. Grandee, King Israel walks up to the throne, her face quizzical. Your spy master leans over and whispers something in her ear. She suddenly looks horrified. By all that is holy, how did you know that? Only my mother knows that. Sit down, Grandee. If the monarch doesn't want to vote today, there will be no vote. Grandee King Israel returns to her seat, trembling like a leaf. This is an outrage. This vote must go ahead. Hey, care for Sir Lemonade? Ah, leave me alone. I'll do whatever you say. Vote time. When you leave the council, the nobles are quiet. They know that new era has begun, an era of cooperation or else. Your spy master meets you outside, unable to keep the sly smile off her face. We did it. This is where my reign really begins. Indeed, Your Majesty, with the nobles under our thumb, we can accomplish great things. You just need to listen to my advice very carefully. That night, you sleep in an untroubled sleep for the first time since you first sat on the throne. No matter their grievances, the nobles will never again dare to defy you. You simply need to mention offhandedly that you know what they did last winter, or that you know where they slept last night. The patricians failed to turn the kingdom's debt against it, and the moment had passed. Ever practical, they set about collecting interest and hoarding wealth, waiting for the next time to scheme once more. The Grandee's attempt to worm their way into the palace was uncovered, and a number of arrests were made. Grandee Polishman II ended his life chained upside down to a dungeon wall. The counts celebrated their victory, and Fran was venerated as a true hero of the East, but some whispered that the counts were losing control of their puppet as the monarch consolidated their power around their heir, Princess Fran II. Monarch Fran ruled from the shadows, getting their way in the council with blackmail and threats. Their nobles were terrified, but the peasants considered it a golden age. After 15 years of unquestioned rule, Monarch Fran died peacefully in bed, and the nobles let out a collective sigh of relief. Alright, I didn't look at the stats. I was just so ready to start another one.